Hi, today I'm going to discuss with you how the coronavirus spread around the world and why we fail to control the spreading. And the most extensive travel restriction to stop outbreak in human history hasn't been enough. And the New York Times analyzed the movement of 100 millions of people and going to show us why this doesn't work. And this is the map of China. Wuhan is at the center of China, so that's one reason this spread of the virus from Wuhan is really the ideal position, so it's easily spread all over China. And originally, we think it's pretty simple. Stop travel, stop the virus from spreading around the world. But here's why that didn't work. Let's have a look at this first few cases. And the first few known cases is across along the seafood market. And this is the seafood market is called Huanan Seafood Market in Wuhan, China. And this is a city with about 11 million people, and it's a transportation harbor. As I mentioned that this city Wuhan is the center of China, so they have connect to every part of the China with trains, airplane, and also through waterways. So it's very, very, very easy to connect everywhere in China. And the first few cases start from this city, and soon it grew to dozens by the end of December. And doctors knew that the sick people had viral pneumonia that did not respond to usual treatment. And we know now that people harbor this virus, this coronavirus, COVID-19. 85% of people actually have no symptoms. And so they can easily spread the virus. As a matter of fact, the true size of the outbreak was much larger even that time. At least more than 1,000 cases, perhaps several times more than this. So, because that, as mentioned, first of all, the people harbor this virus have no symptom. So, and then each patient can infect 2 or 3 others on average. Even the perfect response may not have contained spread. And the Chinese officials did not alert the public to the risk in December. It wasn't until December 31st that the government alerted the World Health Organization and released a statement and also a reassurance. And the government said that disease is preventable and controllable. And also the outbreak could not have been worse. And this is time of the Lunar New Year. Hundreds of millions of people was about to travel back to the hometown to celebrate this new year. And this picture just shows this people around on January 1st based on Times analysis of data published by Baidu and major telecoms, which track the movement of millions of cell phones. In the single day, at least 175,000 people left Wuhan. In the next 3 weeks, departure from Wuhan accelerated. About 70 million people left in January, before the travel restricted on January 23rd. So, thousands of travelers was already affected, and they carried the virus to all over China. By the time Chinese officials acknowledged that the risk of human-to-human transmission, on January 21st, local outbreaks was already seated in Beijing, Shanghai, and many major cities in China. On 2 days later, the authorities locked down Wuhan, and many cities followed in the next few weeks. Travel across China is almost stopped. And from that point, from right now, we see the Chinese government really did very, very right work. And they just locked down the country for about 1 month. That helped them to stop the spread of this virus very, very effectively. And even so, the country is locked down, but local outbreak is already growing very, very quickly, especially in the city of Wuhan. And meanwhile, as the outbreak moved across China in early January, but the international travel continues as normal, and people from Wuhan will travel to every part of the world. They went to North America and surrounding countries like Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, and also European countries. Of course, Southeast Asia, and also to Australia and New Zealand. In 1 month during January, at least 900 people went to New York from Wuhan. So that is the one mystery that actually based on, because most people is actually a student, after they have a winter break, they went back from China to New York. And during that time, actually we have very few cases. More than 2,000 people go to Sydney. And Bangkok is one of the most popular destinations for Chinese people. So more than 50,000 people went to Bangkok. As a matter of fact that in Bangkok is the first non-overseas case appear in mid-January. That is a 61-year-old woman who traveled from Wuhan to Bangkok. So he already have fever, headache, and sore throat. So other early cases also turned up in Tokyo, Singapore, Seoul, and Hong Kong. And United States confirmed his first case in Seattle, Washington State. That is January 23rd. So, as mentioned earlier, that about 85% of infected travelers went undetected. But they're still contagious. They can spread the virus. It was only by the end of January that Wuhan was placed on the lockdown, and airlines started to cancel flights. By January 31st, the United States announced they will shut down entry from China for non-American travel out of Wuhan had basically stopped. But it was too late. Outbreaks was already growing over 30 cities across 26 countries, most seeded by travelers from Wuhan, because Wuhanis was traveling around the world by this time, so the virus already seeded in everywhere in the world. And the virus starts to spread locally more easily in confined spaces like churches and restaurants, and infect people who had not traveled to China. That's the start of pandemic. By March 1st, thousands of cases was reported in Italy, and also in Iran and South Korea. By that time, as China started systemic testing, tracing, and isolate patients, new cases there declined dramatically, showing that it was possible to slow the virus. And similar measures show that spread in Singapore, Hong Kong, and South Korea. In the United States, where testing has lagged, President suspended most travel from European countries. But by then, the virus had secured a foothold. It continued to spread locally through part of Seattle, New York City, and all across the country, once again outpacing the effort to stop it. And looks like that most of virus from in the United States is not direct from China, and because if it's come from China, that would be because end of January, a lot of Chinese come back from China or Wuhan to US. But during that time, the cases of coronavirus is very limited. Only after huge outbreak in European countries, and then the virus was actually introduced from a European country to US. And this kind of mystery, maybe the virus from Chinese people need some time to adapt to the people in European countries, and because they adapt to the European country, the people from European country bring the virus to US. That's maybe the reason which caused widespread or pandemic in the United States. I think from the case in China, in South Korea, or in Japan, looks like it's possible if we only take very serious measure to try to test him and target distancing and of course isolating and quarantine. I'm sure that we will be able to stop the spreading of the virus in the United States and around the world. That's my update for today, and thank you for your attention, and I will see you in my next video.